Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Dr. Laurie Davis here, your host for the Today Show. Exciting show lined up for today. And before we start, I just want to say, thank you so much to our viewers and our partners. We're just on so many platforms out there. Right now, we're streaming live here, the Disability Channel. We're streaming live on Laurie Davis Facebook page. YouTube channel, Laurie Davis show host, Self-Worth the Missing Link Superstars, and I have a superstar with me today, and so many more. And a special thank you to Your Home TV for bringing us on as a channel partner, and that has really certainly expanded our viewership and taking us through the roof. So big shout out, thank you to Sean and Dana for all the work that you've done to get us there. We really, really appreciate it. So without wasting too much time, because I know you're going to really enjoy our guest. And our guest today, before I do that, I'd just like to share a little breakdown. Monday is self-worth, self-care, self-regard, self-improvement. So we talk about that. Tuesdays is finance, and that's with our financial guru, Dr. Amin Modiri. Wednesday, wellness with all of our wellness experts. Thursday, voices of Indigenous people, voices of veterans, and we host guests on that show as well. And then Friday, I just called it my mixed bag of tricks. But on Friday, we bring on celebrities, athletes, influencers, anybody who's making a difference in the world, and that would even include if you're a parent or a grandma. So Friday's really a special day for me, and it's kind of a casual, fun day, right? Friday, everybody waiting for the weekend. So welcome. Oh, and today's booty day, not a booty call, a booty day. And we have prizes in our basket to give away to those of you who've been supporting the show and joining us on the show and watching us after. So we'll be drawing for some prizes as we go today. So without wasting any more time, I'd just like to welcome my good friend, let me see now, Reverend, I forget the order, but it's Reverend Ambassador Dr. Prince. Welcome to the show, Fleet.
Well, hello there, everyone, and hello, Laurie. Yeah, you almost got it. It's Reverend Dr. Ambassador Prince Fleet Easton.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Wow, like it takes a while to get to your name now, but all of those honors, that's honorable, isn't it?
It is. Never in my life would I ever dream that I would receive all these honors and titles. I mean, it was, I'm just a singer and an actor, and I've always done my humanitarian work, but never knowing that one day I'd be honored with titles for the work I've done.
Wow, that's great. And you're only 29 yet, so I can hardly wait.
Look at that. Not a wrinkle on my face.
I can hardly wait to see what you're going to do in the next 30 years. So today I would love for us to take a journey with you, because you've had a fascinating career in show business. Mm-hmm. You started really young, but let's just talk about, to catch us up right now, what's going on for you right now?
Well, today I'm very excited. Our new song, my creative writing partner, Brian Neon Huff, and we have a song that just dropped today on Spotify and iTunes, and it's called Level of Love. And several years ago, Brian had seen me performing in a nightclub, and he had said, one day I'm going to write a song for you. Well, we've been now working together for almost a year. We have several songs out now, and this is our new one that dropped today. And then I think it's dropping next week also on Spotify on another channel. And nice. We're in the works. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nice. That's all.
And then we're working on a new project. An entertainer they had a big song out in the 1960s. And I'm reviving it and bringing it into the 2000s as a high energy pop dance song. and they're going to be on the recording with me, and we're going to be doing it as a duet.
Whoa, that's exciting.
I'm not saying who it is yet, but
No, that's
you won't find.
okay.
It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
would that be kind of like when they had, Nat King Cole and Natalie do Unforgettable together, like that kind of a deal?
Well, they had approached me and said, I want to do a duet with you. Well, I think the intent was to do something very similar to the original. And as I thought about it, I thought, you know what? Oh no, let's do it as something from today and do it as a high energy dance. And they said, wow, that sounds awesome. So the music is being produced right now, and we'll be going into the studio soon to record the vocals.
Wonderful.
So yeah, this is something I've always wanted to do. I am a big ballad singer and standards and Broadway, but deep down in my heart, I've always been a pop singer that, that's something I've always wanted to do. And Brian has opened that door for me to move into this genre now. And I love it. This is what I've always wanted. And the new song, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
And the new
That's a
song,
part of you I didn't know. I didn't
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And when the song, I sent out sound bites to I think a dozen people, and I got a lot of feedback. And a dear friend in New York, my Aunt Lucy, she said, oh my God, what an incredible song. And it's got me dancing in my living room. I know someone, a promoter in Hollywood, and I'd love to send this off to them and see where it can go. So all the stuff was sent off to Hollywood to a promoter producer. And the goal is to get it in every dance club across America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. That's great
Thanks.
news. Great news.
Mhm.
So anything else let's say in the movie area?
Let's see. Oh, well, we're still working on the project of The Lost Ship with director Asghar Allahabadi, and that's still in the works. And I'm excited to do that because it's something I've never done before. I'm working on singing in German for this film, and then I have another project that is in the works called Fly, The Rise of Jet Parker, which will be probably next year. So, what I do is I wake up every day and things just show up at my door. I always tell people, I've done this all my life, and I guess I put in the work. And so now what I've done is I've just sat back and I've let go, and every day something shows up, and I never know what it's going to be.
I'm in the same boat, man. I have so many people to follow up with that I'm not pounding the pavement.
Yeah.
People are coming to me and my phone is ringing.
Well, that's what, that's part of in show business. That was the mentality that if you're not banging doors down, nothing's going to happen. And I spent my whole career doing that and trying to push a chain up a hill. And then when I finally let go, the floodgates opened. And that's, the secret.
Yes, it is. But that comes out of us wanting to control everything, right?
Right.
Wanting us to control it all.
Well, and as you get older, things that are once were very important to you doesn't seem as important anymore. So I think that we don't put that energy on it, that it's a life and death, or it has to be this way. Things come in their own way. I may have an idea of how I think it should be, but it'll come, but maybe not in the way that I had envisioned it to come. So that's where you let go of the control of trying to make it happen how you think it's supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, let's go back in time. And how old were you when you did your first sort of performance, whether it was for the family or however that rolled out?
Oh, well, I was always singing and dancing around the house. I came in with this. This is something that I just had. I was singing and dancing around the house, and all my relatives were saying to my parents, you got to put this kid in show business. And of course, I grew up in Akron, Ohio, and there wasn't a lot of show business in Akron, Ohio. But one thing that I was very fortunate, I was heard singing one day, and I was invited to debut with a small orchestra. And I was 5 years old, and I always knew what I was going to do. And then I kind of dabbled from the age of 5 till about 17. You know, wasn't pursuing it. I wanted it, but I wasn't pursuing it until like I was 17 years old. One of my friends in high school said to me, get in the car. I said, where are we going? They said, don't worry about it. Get in the car. And I found out that they were tired of hearing me saying I wanted to be in show business. And so they took me to an Equity Theater, and I auditioned, and I got a part, and I was with that theater for 5 years and did many musicals. And I guess that was kind of like my beginning of my training ground. Wow. And my dancing also, because even though I had no training at that time, I was very capable of imitating whatever you showed me. Mm-hmm. And I did it with proficiency that you thought I had years of training. So when they started throwing all the French terminology at me, it was like, uh-oh, I better find out what they're saying, or they're going to find out I'm a fraud.
So but you were, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But part of that would be that you were also an excellent skater, right?
Yeah, well, at 10 years old, I went to a matinee on a Saturday afternoon, like all kids did back then. And I was spotted by a coach. And as I never had skates on. But that was another thing. I had an ability that was there. It was just there. And so they approached me and they said, we'd like to talk to your parents. And next thing I know, I'm competing in artistic skating. And I did that for 10 years, also overlapping with show business. And the last 3 years, I was always missing worlds by 1 or 2 places, you know, and after doing it for 10 years, it became a job, and I just was tired of it. You know, at that time I was 19, 20 years old, and I was just tired of it. But every time I'd come back from nationals, I always would say, you know, I'm done. Yeah. And then, of course, my coaches would go to my parents, and then they would pressure me, one more year. That went on for 3 years, 1 more year. Okay. After the 3rd year, I came back from nationals, put my skates on, went around 3 times and said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I knew it. I'm done. I went to my coaches and I said, I'm done. I'm going to become a professional actor. This is what I want to do all of my life. So it kind of prepared me. And another part of that too, during that time when I was also performing for musical theater, like I said, I started taking dance classes and ballet and all, and it opened another door for me also, because as I said, I was very proficient at looking like I knew what I was doing. And so I got scholarship after scholarship after scholarship, never paid for a class. And within 3 years, I was taking master classes at Juilliard. I was taking classes at American Ballet Theater, at Ballet Arts. Wow. And after a few years, I started having knee and ankle and shin issues. And my teachers, ballet is beautiful. I love ballet. Don't get me wrong. But it is very destructive to the body. And if you see older dancers, they have a multitude of body issues. It destroys it destroys your body because you're forcing your body to do something it doesn't want to do. So my teachers were walking with canes and walkers and stuff. And I said, you know what?
No,
I don't want that in my older life, even though I love what I'm doing. So I walked away from it and went right into becoming a nightclub entertainer, and that was my next phase of my career.
Wow. You know, I'm getting a little bit of a clicking sound when you're speaking. I'm wondering if it's your headphones.
Okay, maybe it's hitting my thing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, let me unhook this. How's
No,
that? Is that okay?
no, yeah, it's okay.
I was afraid you might get feedback. That's why I was using headphones. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. No, we're good.
Oh, okay, good. It
Yeah.
probably, maybe it was hitting against the speaker, might have been hitting against
Okay. Well, we were just getting a little clickety click click, and I thought maybe you're just going to start
No,
dancing.
that's my joints.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a little break and get your thoughts together because we'll come back. And this is the time of the show that I like to talk about the Disability Channel. And I had no idea about the Disability Channel until one of my clients, his name is Doug Smith, former NHLer, and he contacted me and he said, I've been invited to do a show with the Disability Channel. But he said, I don't know anything about broadcasting. And would you consider co-hosting that sports? Imagine now me, okay? Broadcast, when you say, you're good at making things look good, and it's a sports show, and we broadcast every Tuesday at 11 o'clock, live show. It's called The Press Box. And so I said, well, gee, I'm honored. I would love to. And I said, my very first show was a 3-minute gig on a golf show. And he said, really? So I said, I can hardly walk down the front steps without falling down, but I love sports, and I've always watched different kinds of sports. I'm a spectator. So we've been doing the show called The Press Box. So Doug introduced me to the Disability Channel. And then the founder of the Disability Channel was doing this show once a week. And he said, Laurie, would you consider co-hosting the Today Show? And I said, I'd be honored. But I said, if I'm going to be on the air, it has to be 5 days a week. I'm sorry. I don't do once a week. He said, what? I said, sure. So here we are. But a little bit about the Disability Channel. It was created to support veterans and people with disabilities. And they have it's a nonprofit organization. They have a whole platform, Fleet, where they take in all government funded, can you imagine?
Awesome.
Veterans and kids and adults with disabilities. And of course, a lot of our veterans are disabled. Mm-hmm. And they educate them in the media business. So there's a whole school there, and they at the studio, and you can work in front of the camera, behind the camera.
Yeah.
And then now our founder wrote a book 20 years ago, talk about, what does it take 20 years to be an overnight success? So he wrote a book, Flanagan's Inside the Life of an Irish Street Gang, now going to be a series. And now this is another whole opportunity to hire the people that have been trained. And they have had 85% success rate of their students getting jobs.
Wow.
In the business. Isn't that cool?
It is.
So that was all over my heart when I, found out about that. So here we are. But having said that, we're going to take a 30-second break. And this is to show you that if you have a product, a program, a service, this is my plug for the station, then you can contact me and you could be featured. Instead of us looking at a black space with snowflakes floating up air, this could be you. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel with our special guest, Reverend
Doctor
Ambassador Prince
Fleet Easton.
Woohoo!
I wanted to add it when you were talking about disability.
Okay.
There's a something really dear to my heart. It's called the College of Adaptive Arts, and it's a school that is run by two dear friends of mine, and the students are young adults, well, young to middle-aged adults with disabilities, and it's a school that teaches acting, dancing, working behind the camera. So they offer all these curriculums so they have an opportunity to be like their brothers and sisters. And it's wonderful. It's just heartwarming. And I have been up there for quite a while, and it's in San Jose, California. I used to go up there periodically, and it's so funny. They would have me join in the classes, and I'm going to tell you, the students would wear me out.
Oh, yes.
I was trying to keep up with them.
Right, precisely. Yeah, well, this is so now we're working on potentially establishing the same setup here in the West, and we're actually Chief and I are working on that. So because now they would like to, they've never had any Indigenous candidates, and of course we do have Indigenous veterans, Indigenous disabled, so it's all very exciting what's going on behind the scenes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that little 30-second spot, that could be yours. And if you're interested in advertising, because we do things three-way. We take donations, you could advertise on the show, or you could, if you're a corporation or a business, you could have a sponsorship where we feature you all the time. And if you're interested in any of that, just call the doc. That's me. Just call me and we'll have a chat up close and personal. All right. So let's get back to you, Fleet. And thank you so much for being here today. I've really missed you. Oh, and so if I want to see you, then I'm just going to have you on the show, and that way we get together. Right?
Great. Works for me.
Thank you. So let's talk about throughout the years, what did you do when nobody was calling you and no doors were opening? How did you handle that? Because I think that's a big part of our success, is that we were persistent. And a lot of people give up before that golden egg drops down. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, I think I always knew, as a child, as I was saying, I always knew what I was going to do my whole life. I knew this. This was my passion, my love, my desire. And even now, I still have that enthusiasm for what I do. When I was young, when I was really young, I mean, I've never lost that. So yeah, show business is really a tricky thing, because it's like a roller coaster. You have your ups and your downs, and your ups and your downs. And when you're on that high, flying high, you think, okay, this is it. And then all of a sudden, then you go back down again. But, I've learned over the years that by listening to other entertainers, actors, performers, all, that those low ends are our teachers. We don't understand it or realize it at the time, but those are our teachers that are pushing and propelling us forward. I never was ever discouraged, even with things that maybe didn't work out like I thought they were. Mm-hmm. I've reached a point now to where I just keep throwing stuff against the wall, and what sticks is wonderful, and what doesn't stick is fine, and they can roll off, and because there's always something else coming up right behind it. So I don't put any expectation on anything anymore. And as we were talking about earlier, there's a perception in Hollywood that if you're not banging your head against the wall and pushing and pushing and pushing, nothing's going to happen. So I just kept pursuing what I did. And every time I go on stage, I mean, I heard Michael Jackson once say, the only time I feel like I'm alive is when I'm on stage. There's something that happens. It's something you transcend. And I always say, it's when I'm performing, it's me, but it's not me. It's like I'm channeling something, and it just is organic and it just is happening. And I'm not controlling it. I'm just allowing it to flow and just happen. And when I reached that point in my life and career, as I said, that's when everything started happening. And I do have to give a plug for you.
Oh, okay.
Because after
you.
I went through the self-worth course, and I do tell everybody this, it shifted something in my life and my career. It gave me a voice. It gave me power. I don't tolerate what I used to tolerate. Wanting everybody to love me and, always maybe saying the right thing, even though it wasn't right for me, something in me, I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to cause controversy. And then I would spend the whole time internalizing, being upset and angry because I'm doing something I don't want to do, because I'm trying to be nice and keep the peace. But what it did, it gave me that power and that voice to say no when I don't want to do something and I don't feel comfortable doing it. Some things, yes, some things when they're uncomfortable, that is a growing test for you to grow. But then there's other things that are not right for you. And if you don't speak up, you're putting yourself in a position to where you yourself are not going to be in a good place. So the self-worth opened a door for me to allow all the stuff to come in now. And that's when it actually exploded. When we finished our self-worth course, it exploded. And I contribute a lot of what's happening now to that experience I had with you.
Aw.
It is. I mean, I tell everybody that. And I tell people, if you really want to help yourself and you really want to move forward, you should contact Laurie Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being seriously honest from my heart.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I guess what I want to say is you did the work.
Mm-hmm.
I just showed you how to do the work.
Right.
But we can't help people who don't want to be supported. And I can't help anybody really or teach anybody anything. But when someone like yourself opens your heart up, then changes can happen.
Right.
And I've had to sometimes give myself my own workshops.
Well, I didn't even know I needed help. I thought I was perfect, fabulous, and complete. I did.
I know.
And it was so funny. And I'll share this with people that don't know that we met on another podcast show. And it was funny because when I first encountered Laurie, I thought, oh my God, this woman is scary. She's like the Gestapo. And so, she was very powerful. People, if you went over your time, she cut you off. And it was like, oh my gosh. And then when she reached out to me and said, I'd like to work with you, I see a sadness in your eyes. And I thought, well, I don't think I need any help, but okay, we'll go with it and just see what happens.
Yes.
And it was the best thing I ever did. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, the best thing I ever did.
Oh, thank you. And I have to give a shout out to you too, because at the time we were in the midst of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't, that retreat that we do, Reclaiming My Self-Worth, had always been done in person at our facility. We always had a retreat center.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, we couldn't bring anybody in. And I thought, well, there's got to be a way that I can do this virtually, because we had already been working virtually since 2002. And I said to Prince, I said, listen, let's help each other. I'll work with you and get you past whatever it is that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I need someone to help me pilot the retreat online. And the outcomes were exactly the same as if I had you there in person. So a big shout out of thank you to you and gratitude, because I've had many, many people do the Reclaim online since then. Okay. I'm actually working with 3 guys right now. I meet them each once a week, twice a week for an hour. And it's amazing how it worked out. And you and I did that together, helping each other.
Well, and it was interesting because I was in a situation at that time that I was not happy. I was being compliant, doing things that I didn't want to do. But that part of me felt, well, like I said, I wasn't a boat rocker, and I just didn't say anything. And then it gave me the voice to one day to stand up to my situation and said, enough is enough. And the person that I stood up to, I think they were kind of in shock. And after that, I had no more problem after that. But
Wow.
I spent 16 years of being in a situation that was not good for me
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
aspects.
Yeah. Right. And that's all about having healthy boundaries. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about control. It's just being able, one way that we can love ourselves and be kind to ourselves is to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? We have the
Yeah.
right.
Well, like I said, I don't like controversy, and I am always afraid that if I open my mouth, it was going to start something, and then I didn't want to be involved in back and forth, back and forth. But now it's like I just say no, and
No.
that's it.
Yeah. And you don't worry about how it hurts somebody's feelings or,
No. Yeah. And
All right.
I learned a really wonderful phrase. It was, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, there you go. That doesn't work for me. I'm not comfortable with that. Well, that's not very supportive. Yeah, um, so let's talk about your star.
Yes.
People don't know that you have a star in the Walk of Fame in Palm Springs. So how did that happen, and why did that happen, and when did that happen? Because you've got it on your wall there, but we can't see it right at the moment. But if you go to Palm Springs, there you are in the pavement, in the concrete, man.
There I am. Well, it started back as a young child. It's part of my humanitarian work. You get a star in Palm Springs, not just for being a singer or actor, but it's what you contributed to the community and society. And I've done this since I was a child. When I was in elementary school, I came from a family where we were fairly affluent. And I would get a new wardrobe every year, and at the end of the year, I would box that up, and I would present it to other students in a very loving, kind way that I know didn't have the opportunities I had. So I started very young. I learned how to give. So all through my career, I've done benefits for Make-A-Wish Foundation, for St. Jude's. I did an event one night where we raised $150,000 for St. Jude's, and that was in 1999. And I've done from March of Dimes, and since I've lived in Palm Springs, I think we've estimated it's over 200. I've been here 17 years, so I probably have participated in over 200 events, raising money, donating my time and my talent. It's just what you do. My motto in life is, to move forward, you must give back. And that's just how the universe and the flow of energy works.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2015, they started calling me the Prince of Palm Springs because of all my charity work. And so that became my moniker. And in 2000, and let's see, December 9th, 2016, I was presented with a star on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars. And I moved here in 2007. So it took me 9 years. And I contributed to the 9-year cycle. I would like to share that with you.
Sure.
Bamboo takes 9 years. You plant it, it takes 9 years for it to come up and grow. And then when it does, it shoots up very quickly. So if people will find a pivotal point in their life where something major happened, and then start going back every 9 years, you'll be amazed to realize and see that there was a major shift every 9 years as you go back, how your life changed in some way and shifted. So in 2016 was the completion of my 9 years in Palm Springs.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I told him it had to be on December 9th. And so, I go like with some numerology, and I'm very much into the law of attraction and manifesting. So when I got my star, I said, okay, I'm done here. I want to get on a new merry-go-round. I want to see new people, new places, because I had spent 9 years of performing at all the clubs and going on that circle, that circuit. And I didn't want to go back there again. I wanted to grow into new people, places, and things. So that started my journey. So that then all of a sudden, Hollywood started opening up. And then one project after another, after another, after another just started coming. And so now I'm in my 8th year of the new cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And you see all that's happening.
Yes.
Next year is the 9th cycle. That's when everything for the new cycle is going to explode next year. And everything I've worked for the last 9 years is going to come to fruition. And I can see it. It's just on the verge. I mean, look at the songs coming out, the movie offers, in the last 9 years, I've received a doctorate, an ambassador of peace and kindness. What else have I mean? Named one of 100 most inspirational people of the world. I received a kindness award. I received the miracle award. I received an angel award. I mean, just within the last 9 years. And now working with Brian, it's opened up another venue that's going to bring the next phase in. And I'm excited. I don't know if you can see it. I'm excited because I've been doing this for a very long time in my life, never gave up, never lost my drive, never lost my ambition. I made a vow years ago. I used to, when I would watch Oprah and all the philanthropy she did, I always would say, okay, God, put me in a position to where I can do that same kind of work on a global level, that I can help others. And that's where I'm heading.
Absolutely. And I'm going to do my 9-year cycle after I get off the show. I'm going to see what was happening to me. Is this my 9th year? I'll be 75 in July. Nobody believes it. Nobody thinks I am. No, and I said, well, they said, what's your secret? I was asked that the other day. I was in a meeting with all guys.
Okay.
Recently.
And I know you can handle yourself with that.
Yeah, no, I can. And I was like, so I said, well, I'll tell you what, great sex, copious amounts of wine, and a sense of humor. And it just came out like I didn't mean to say, I was saying, what did I just say? But that's not all of it, but that's definitely a part of it. So, 75 in July, 3/4 of a century, no drugs, no medication, healthy, feeling really great, dropped 40 pounds. So I'm like, all right, what is the secret? Well, it's like you being passionate about what you do. I mean, is retirement even in our vocabulary, Prince?
You know what's funny is because I live in Palm Springs. Palm Springs is a place where entertainers, here's what I was told when I first moved here.
Okay.
And the reason, and I've said this before, the reason I moved here is because I have a voice that guides me and told me I was to move here. So the first thing someone said to me, why would you move here? This is where entertainers come to die. I said, not me. I said, this is just a stepping stone to where I'm going to next. And so I have had people come to me and say, oh, so what did you do for a living before you retired? I said, what are you talking about? I'm not retired. I never will retire. What?
Oh my God.
I don't even know what that means. I mean,
No.
why would? Yeah, I can understand people that go, as we said, people that go through life doing things that they don't want to do, and they're just living day to day and stuff. And yes, they might be looking forward to not having to do what they're doing because they're not happy doing it. But when you do something you love, it's
Oh,
not a job.
no.
I get to play every day at something that I love more than anything in my existence. And I embrace that gift that I was given. And I mean, as I said, all these years, I've never lost that enthusiasm. And I have no concept of time, space, or age.
Yes.
I still think I'm 35 years old.
So do
And
I.
thank God I can still do the things I did at 35. Now
Mhm.
that I'm 45, I can still do it.
Oh my goodness sakes. It's the truth though.
It
You
is.
know, I love broadcasting and I've done it for decades. No pay, no money, just because I love doing it and my work. And I haven't had a job for 40 years. Teaching, that was my last job, right?
Well, I should say my last job, and I see we have Leon Davis with us,
Yeah.
and he worked for me.
Oh,
I did a national tour and made quite a bit of money, and my mother kept saying, you need a real job. And I said, Mother, I have a real job. Yeah, but you need a job where you get up going 9 to 5. I don't want a 9 to 5 job. I said, you know what? I do a job. I make enough money to get me through to the next job, and I'm happy. Oh no, but you need to. So my mother decided that I need to own beauty salons. Well, my mother started cutting out ads for beauty salons for sale.
no
And
kidding.
I kept, for 6 months, I kept saying, no, I don't want to do it. No, no, no. And I said, you know what? That's not who I am. And it's at one time I did go to beauty school and I know how to do all that stuff, but that was never something that I had a desire. I did that because of being in show business. I wanted to know how to do everything. And I have over the years, different production companies I have worked for. I have been a director, assistant director, hair, makeup, set design. I've done it all. So it gave me a foundation of learning how to do all the different things, but it was something I never had a desire to do as a living. But my mother pulled that out of her handbag and said, you need to do this. So I said, finally she wore me down and I bought a salon. And then it was like, okay, then I bought another salon, and then I got myself in a situation where I was waking up every day going, I'm unhappy. I'm not happy. This is not who I'm supposed to be. And I was doing show business at the same time, but it interfered with my show business because my agent would call and try to book me for things, and I couldn't because I couldn't leave because, you've got a business and you've got to watch. And Leon, he worked for me at one of my salons, and that's
Wow.
how we met. And so we were talking about the 9-year cycle.
Right.
I woke up one morning and I said, I am so unhappy with this. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not who I am. I want to be show business. It's just, I don't want to divide my time between the two. I woke up, went into my salon. My top salesperson who was making like $1,200 a day. I said, Velma, I'm selling the business. She said, oh, Fleet, I didn't want to tell you this, but I was going to be leaving you. I've been shopping to get my own businesses. How much do you want for the business? And I told her, and she said, sold. It was
My
that
goodness.
quick. So that fell exactly on a 9-year shift.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, that was in 1998. 9 years later, 2007, I moved here.
Wow.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
So like I said, if you go back, you'll see the major.
I'm doing that today.
Yeah.
I am, because I know I'm on that cycle as well.
Yeah, you
Wow.
just need to find where your cycle starts,
Hmm.
and then if you go back, it falls right into place. So I love it that Leon said my life shifted when I met Prince
Yes.
Fleet Easton.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
very sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
And on that note, thank you, Leon, for reminding us. And I put his name in our booty box here for a gift today. Um, we don't realize or even have any clue, see if you agree or disagree with this, Fleet,
Hmm.
of how many lives we've impacted either directly or indirectly.
Oh, I know. We have no concept. I hear it periodically from people telling me that, and it really, um, I don't want to say boggles my mind because I'm just doing what I do. And I was watching an interview with Cher last night, and they said, how does it feel to be an icon? She said, I don't like that word. She said, that's not who I am. That may be your perception of who I am. But she said, as me, I'm just me doing what I love to do. So, like I said, it's other people's perception. And I guess we're not really aware of how we're affecting other people's lives
Mm,
because we're just living our lives from day to day like we're supposed to.
yeah, doing what we love, right? Doing what we love.
And I'm grateful if what I do brings you joy and it
Hmm.
impacts your life. I've done my job. Oh, also, I always tell people when in my performances, if I'm doing something very dramatic and people in the audience are crying,
You're like Hank
I know
Williams.
it's because it's a good cry. And I always
Yeah,
say thank you for that because it lets me know I'm doing my job.
yeah. Well, that's what they said about Hank Williams Sr. He really couldn't sing that well,
Yeah,
but he sang his love songs and his ballads. And
yeah.
his goal was that there wasn't going to be a dry eye in the place when he left. And that
Mhm.
happened. And that's why he became so, in his very short years, so well known.
Well, I want to add to that too, that when you're a singer and there's certain songs that you sing, you know how you can affect people because there's something in that song that's affecting you. And
Right.
it's bringing something out in you that the people are receiving
Hmm.
and they can relate to it. And the greatest songs in the world are those songs that people can relate to and it
Hmm.
touches some kind of emotion within them.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Well, if Leon wants his cookies that I promised him, okay, I need an address and I will send the cookies. But since Leon has been out of touch for a while,
uh,
I know exactly who he is. Then, because he's teasing us, and that's a good thing. Send me your address, email me here, and I will actually bake and package some cookies for Leon. I will do it because I do what I say. So let me see. Ta-da!
ta-da. And Leon is
Tease.
salsa
What a
dancing now.
tease. What's that?
Leon has started salsa dancing also.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Let's see.
And I wanted
Mhm.
to also, uh, one of our, Kathy Bell, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for loving the motto because it truly is how I feel. To move forward, you must give back.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So there's my phone number, Leon, and there's my email. So just let me know where you are and let me know what is your favorite cookie, and I will send them. Promise. Awesome. All right. Well, we have about 5 minutes
Okay.
left. So let's see. What else do we need to say? Words of encouragement to the Disability Channel and their mission and their vision. Um, we are out there right now in a very large way, and I was really honored to become part of it. I'm excited. Kathy Bell, you'll be receiving your gifts from Kathy Bell because we send all of our guests some gifts. and they're electronic gifts, but you'll enjoy them. And actually, our founder, Jay Stoyan, he wrote a song called Shining Light. And I actually recommended you to him that perhaps he should have you record that song as well.
Oh, I love
And yeah, no kidding. So you'll get a copy of it. And I will be giving Kathy Bell your email so you can receive your gifts from us, because she always says a thank you for us.
Well,
so Kathy, yes, thank you she's here every day. She's our support system. And oh, I got kisses from Leon. This is good. He's tasting the cookies already. And I might even consider flying for a new hairdo. I'm looking for a new do. I'm letting my hair grow out so that whoever I go to will have lots to work with. And just have to spruce myself up here, all the time. Yeah. So yes, thank you so much, Fleet, for being here today.
Oh,
and we'd love to have you back again. And if you're just joining us, you've been watching the Today Show. And let's see, we're going to draw for a few gifts really fast here. Chief was on Wednesday, former Chief Dr. Leonard, standing on the road. And he bought some beads when he was in California. And when he got home, he makes these little native headdresses out of the beads, the headdresses that they wear with the feathers and all. But these are little ones made out of stone, and you can hang them on your rear view mirror. Or what's this blue dot on my forehead?
It's your bindi.
Yeah, wherever. I've got all the names in the basket here. So I'm just going to reach in and I'm going to pull a name out. Oh, Jill Younghusband. That's her name, Jill Younghusband. She's a new client of mine. So I have to put
that's a spoken manifestation out into the world.
Isn't it?
Jill Younghusband.
Yes, I love it. I'll have to ask her about that. All right. And then on Monday, Dr. Patricia Crane from Lake Arrowhead, she donated 30 minutes of her time to, she does a lot of work in the Louise Hay venue and affirmations, 30 minutes of her personal time to help you with your affirmations. And the winner is Virginia Clark. Oh, that's so important. Virginia Clark. Virginia is, and it's public that she's right now going through chemo and cancer treatments, and she's one of our colleagues. Cool. Okay. And then we donated 1 hour of my time because I was on solo. So anybody wants to come online and talk to me. Oh my gosh. Kathy Bell. Kathy. You won an hour with me. You and I'll have a Zoom. Yay. Woohoo. All right. Excellent. And I think that's all we had for this week.
Well, before I leave, I want to give a shout out.
Okay.
Robbie Motter, who has been responsible for a lot of the wonderful things that are transpiring in my life. And also to Queen Eden of Beerland, who just gave me the ambassador of happiness and kindness. And I'm just very honored to meet some really wonderful people from around the world. And Lenore Peterson with Gaia and all, they're just absolutely amazing, wonderful people. And I'm so honored to be associated with all of them.
And right there with you. Look what's happened to us just because of Robbie.
Yeah.
Well, we love you, Robbie. We really do. I'm going to book her on the show too for a Friday. I was waiting for the graduation and all that to get over, so she would have some time. Anyway, all right. Well, congratulations to our prize winners. We'll hook you up with the person that donated the prize. And thank you for being here on Monday. Self-care, self-worth, self-improvement. And my guest will be the beautiful Nadzen de Gagne. And she's a vivacious ambassador for Self-Worth, the Missing Link. And you'll be able to meet her on Monday. So just with that, bye for now. Thank you so much, Fleet, for being here. That's been amazing. Yes. All right. So take care, everybody. Have a blessed weekend. It's a long weekend here in Canada, so make sure you drive safe and if you're traveling and all that stuff. All right. So bye for now.
Thank you, Laurie. Bye-bye, everyone.